Greetings and salutations. It's Dave Duford here at Final Expense Agent Mentor at feagentmentor.com. And today I am here with Mr. Jeremy. Say hello, Jeremy.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Yeah, Jeremy is a new agent in the mentorship program and decided to haul on up here for a nice little ride along to get a day in the life experience of a final expense agent. And while we're not done today, we do have some time before it gets too dark out here to kind of more or less catalog what happened with today's final expense efforts. And the goal of this particular video is really more or less just to share with you what it's like to sell final expense. I know a lot of you probably out there watching this are interested in selling final expense, but want to know exactly what the day-to-day, even appointment-to-appointment experience is like. So this is really why we're doing this video. This is the purpose of it, kind of give you more perspective. So Jeremy, kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Well, as you said, my name's Jeremy. I'm 32. I got a wife and 2 kids. Most of my work background history is in food service. I've done a smattering of other things, paralegal work and whatnot, but I decided to take the plunge and sell insurance.
Cool. And as you can tell, guys, and what I want to talk about today is kind of get your thoughts on what we saw. So kind of describe to the audience the first couple of appointments that you did today or with me, and kind of what you saw starting with the first one.
Well, it's been a interesting experience so far. We started out going to see a couple of people and just stop, check on them, check on their current policy, see if they have anything that needs to be replaced, see if they needed to add any new coverage on. It's been very comfortable, very informal. Just having a conversation with a friend in the living room. It's been really awesome to see the experience. Dave is very good at this. He makes this look super easy. So I'm learning quite a bit. I've noticed some different objections and how Dave handles those, and just kind of paying attention to his presentation and how he talks to people.
So just for you guys' sake out there for clarification, what we've been working today is primarily my existing clientele. One of the things that I impress upon my agents now, especially those with a year or more worth of experience, is to always go back and see people that you sold policies to. I have sold 3 today. I'm anticipating selling a 4th one here momentarily, with the potential to pick up a 5th one before the end of the day. And this is probably off of 6 or 7 appointments total. So there's a lot of business to be had out there, especially the people that have already trusted you with their information to sell you again. And I guess what we could talk about was that first call where we saw Sarah and Raymond. Kind of tell the audience what that actual first call. We know the first one no-showed, of course. That's something that happens. Describe how that first call went for people, like how it went, how the people were, and how they treated us. What was the whole concept of it?
Well, they were very inviting. They recognized Dave from the first time he came in and sold them a policy. Invited us in, sat us down. They were very acceptable to reviewing their policy, reviewing their coverage. Turns out that what was his name? Raymond, yeah. Raymond. Turns out Raymond wanted to pick up an extra couple set of policies, some extra coverage, and so it was very easy to kind of get him qualified and get him signed on some extra coverage for him. I think Sarah already had coverage. Is that right?
Yeah, I had sold. So for you guys, I sold Sarah a policy probably about 2.5, 3 years ago. And then I came back and met her husband very briefly, didn't really talk to him much, and got him to sign paperwork for $5,000 on him. So she was paying 2 policies. And the reason we were there is because Raymond wanted to have 2 policies on himself and his spouse, but him pay for it. So there's 4 policies total. Each were paying for each other's and their own. Kind of a strange setup. It usually doesn't happen that way. But again, this is the kind of stuff you get if you just go back and see people you sold to. They end up having more needs, more desires. And if you say in front of these people, they're like, hey, rather spend money with somebody I already can trust than trying to send one of these cards back in to get a strange agent in that I don't know if they're my kind of guy. So that was nice. I'm trying to think what else was interesting about that appointment. I mean, that was more or less a lay down type of appointment.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, this is more aligned with a normal type of sale where I haven't really totally met and got to know the gentleman. He knew he wanted it, and he had talked to his wife about it. It's almost like a really qualified referral, I would say. But it was a really good example of a sales process, very smooth. And let me ask you this: what were your thoughts on that particular sale? It being a lay down, meaning it was very easy, there wasn't a lot of resistance. Did you feel that there was a high level of sales pressure? Do you feel like that they made this decision out of their own desire for it, but not being under pressure? Kind of give me that perspective on that.
I think going into the conversation, I think they knew what they needed and knew what they wanted before you even sat down with them. To be honest,
Yeah.
So it was very easy peasy. No sales pressure, no high pressure tactics, none of that at all. Like I said, it was almost just like having a conversation with a friend. Um, I was very excited to see this as a repeat customer um, because I did not know the ability to go back and sell more policies to your existing customers. I thought you know one or two policies and you keep moving on to new customers, but it was very exciting to see that.
Yeah, and the thing is the reason I asked Jeremy to explain that is the method of sales that I teach is designed to be very low key. It's designed to be educationally driven and designed to build trust and value with your prospect. It's not designed to be high pressure and how many closes can you remember and being aggressive. I think that's a quick way to potential failure. But with this method, it's still persuasive. We talked about this earlier. When you educate your client on the options and show them how yours is superior, that's going to sell you to them, which is important, but it's also going to sell what you do, and so much so that they'll want to buy from you. They'll actually want to do business with you. And so the great thing about this business is you don't have to go out there and high pressure anybody. Just show them the facts, describe to them your options, and you'll find many of them will just buy because they're impressed with your knowledge and your care in making sure they get the best deal. So from that point on, we did a few more sales calls. We went down to Georgia. I saw a lady I sold probably about two and a half years ago. She wanted a policy for one of her grandsons. That was, again, pretty much a straightforward deal. I had $58 a month on her in coverage, and this added another $68, I think. So again, just by picking up the phone and calling these people, more needs arise. I mean, even in a final expense marketplace where there's limited income, it's amazing. And so now we've made a few stops. We did a service call on a guy that has been having some billing problems, and then tried to hit up a few people I missed last few weeks out here prospecting. And now we're up here past Knoxville. We've been all over the place. And we're going to go rewrite a deal that lapsed about a year ago. She responded to a mailer I sent off about, re-upping it. And, hey, Ben, how you doing? Hey, I'll answer those questions in a minute. And then after that, we're going to try to get a plan reinstated because the company, named after an American president, says that they got this guy $20,000 in coverage at age 65 for $80 a month, and he's a smoker.
As a smoker, yes.
So, and I had the most competitively priced company, Standard Life and Casualty, who has the best rates for male smokers. And I had $10,000 on the guy, and he was probably paying about $60-70 a month. So put it this way, I think there's been some shenanigans going on, and I'm going to go out there and straighten him out and make him see the light, hopefully, so that he doesn't screw up anything bad, because there are, unfortunately, agents in the captive market that all they care about is making the sale, and they're willing to do things like this. So it should be a good learning experience to see that happen and do hopefully a replacement. So I don't want to count my eggs for the hatch, of course, but I'm hoping for the best. Let me go ahead and any final thoughts or questions or concerns? Anything you want to tell the audience overall about your experience with this first day ride along?
No, it's just been very enlightening, very educational to ride with Dave and see firsthand how he does things, live in person. It's one thing to watch on a video and listen to what he says, but it's another thing to see it, in person as he does day to day. So he's not just posting videos; he actually does this all the time. Goes out and sees these people, and you can trust his advice because I've watched a lot of his videos, and what he says on his videos, he actually puts into practice in the field. So I'm very impressed, and I plan on having a lot more interactions with Dave and learning more from him later.
Yeah, and one of the things I think is best about selling final expense is if you get out and do a field training event from the very first, well, as soon as you can, there's so much that you can learn face to face with a mentor. Like if you work with me, I try to get you in the car with me at least for a day. And so many things become connected when you see this stuff for real. Look, my videos are useful. I know it's helped a lot of you who are watching it, and I certainly want to continue doing that. However, the reality is that at the end of the day, um, there's nothing that beats actual experience. And seeing it is believing. It gives you inspiration, but it also helps a lot with the process of figuring out, um, what this business is really like. And a couple last things here. Oh, by the way, again, as a mentorship agent, you can take advantage of this. Of course, I offer ride-alongs to everybody that joins and recruits and works directly with me. But also, if you join the Inner Circle program, which is a training oriented membership program, I do live stream coaching calls exclusive for Inner Circle members. I do also coaching calls. I actually offer ride-alongs in that too as well at no additional cost. So a couple things I'll mention here. Ahmed, how you doing, Ahmed? He asked, can you tape some of your sales process, please? So if you join the Inner Circle or if you become an agent of mine, I actually have the entire sales process from start to finish available on camera, where I take a synthetic or fake prospect, I guess you can say, and walk through the steps and then explain what I'm doing. I also have more than 40 audio sales calls where it's like I stuck my iPhone in my pocket, hit record, and then you listen to the whole sales call as if you were there with me, like a fly on the wall. And it really does a good job to impress upon you how to sell, how to take the learning that you get from my program and put it into action. So do that. And if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to join my program, just watch my videos, watch all my training. There's a lot of stuff there that will help you along and really drive home the main points of being successful in the sales process. Ben asked, if I can see this here, Ben. Hey, how you doing, Ben? Ben asked, do you use your appointment setter for these appointments too? Yes, I do. Although this Lincoln Heritage, whoop, I just said it, this company named after an American president deal that I'm going to see at the end of the day after this last one, they were a call I made. I called this guy up. We've been trying to call him. He finally called me back, actually left a voicemail. And he said, we talked, and I said, hey, I'm going to be up there. I'm doing a deal up in Lake City. I'll be running over to Maryville. They said, you don't need to do that. I'm not interested anymore. I found this great company. They take care of my funeral expenses, and they're half the price. It's $20,000. And I said, oh, that's great. So remind me, do you smoke? And he said, yeah, I do. I said, well, I can tell you this. I've been doing this since 2011, and if you got that kind of price, they wrote you down as a non-smoker. And he said, no, I told him I smoke. I said, that's fine, but some of these agents, they don't put that down. They put down no. Give me 5 minutes. Let me look at your policy. Let's double check before you make any big changes. If it's perfect, it's perfect. I'll leave. We'll shake hands. No hard feelings. But at least give me the opportunity to give a second set of eyes on that just to make sure you got the right setup. And he said, I think I'm fine, but you can come over. So I got an appointment somewhere around 6:30 from now. So we should have a pretty good opportunity to make this happen. So, yeah, we're excited. But most of that was done by appointment setting. And yeah, just like kind of normal. So other than that, Jeremy, thank you so much for joining me today, and be willing to come on this live stream and kind of talk about your experience.
It's been a pleasure, Dave.
Yeah. And if you guys have any questions or concerns, comments, feel free to post them below. If you haven't already, give me the thumbs up here. Thumbs up right there. And subscribe if you haven't. My name is David Duford, Final Expense Agent Mentor, feagentmentor.com. If you want to do final expense, give me a contact. Give me a ring. Or if you have any insurance sales training questions, check out. Make sure you subscribe. Lots of stuff for that, of course, if you haven't found it already. We'll see you tomorrow. I'll be around. See ya.